So I don't do this a lot or at all, but I felt it necessary to post something. I have 3 children who all wear masks at school until recently. My 8-year-old child goes to Smythe Elementary. The principal here is Ken Danderen, and the vice principal here is Fred Makofka. My child was being sent to the nurse's station every day due to medical issues because of the masks. We got a doctor's note recommending that he remove the mask and not wear it because it was causing him problems. I brought that to the school, and everything went downhill from there. We noticed my child's behavior starting to decline, and the tears started happening, refusing to go to school, and we asked him why. They have segregated him from everyone in the class. He is not allowed to enter the classroom until every other child, even the teacher, has gone into the classroom. I personally witnessed this myself. I came to the school 2 weeks ago to address this with the vice principal. I was assured and reaffirmed that the segregation would no longer happen. The isolation would no longer happen. And I took their word for it. Big mistake. The next day, my child had the exact same reaction. We took him out of that class and placed him with a new teacher, thinking that these things might help the situation. He has been seeing a mental health specialist due to the anxiety that he's been having because of these issues. We brought this to the school's attention, and they have exacerbated his condition. The principal finally got back on campus because he was off due to family emergencies. When he got on campus, he informed my husband and assured him that the partition on my son's desk would no longer be there and the segregation for my son would no longer happen, which again was another set of lies. I am now here at my son's school because he was informed by both me and my husband that if this were to happen again, because they were neglecting to allow him to even call his mother or father, or to see anyone superior to the person he was talking to say he has a stomach ache, doesn't feel good, so he can go to the nurse's station. Nurse calls me, knows nothing about the situation that he's going through, and was just like, well, Aiden's been wandering around the campus all day. Mind you, he's 8 years old. I was assured by Mr. Danderen himself and the superintendent, who was there during a conference call, that my child would be with a credentialed adult or licensed adult at all times, because they could not allow him in class because of his medical exemption for his mask. So my child is being forced to have no education in the past week. He has been removed from class, and now he is being forced to wander around his campus. A 3rd grader wandering around the school. Now I'm on my way into the school to talk to these people and find out why they think it's okay to neglect an 8-year-old child, why they think it's okay to segregate him, why they think it's okay to lie to his parents and tell us that they're going to do something and they're not going to actually do it. So bear with me here while we walk into Smythe's office. This is here in Sacramento. Hello, ladies. Is Mr. Danderin here? Danderin? Mm-hmm. Are you ready to dinner? Yeah. Okay. Wait out there for me. I'll be right there. Yeah, no. Go ahead. Mr. Danderin.
Oh, hi, excuse me, I'll be right out.
This is Mrs. Prather.
Yes, I understand.
Do you understand that you are allowing my child to wander the campus without supervision? And I was just informed by your school nurse that my child has been wandering your campus when you assured me that he would be with a credentialed, licensed adult at all times.
I am aware. This morning, Mr. McCoskey asked Aiden to have a seat in the office while we were waiting for student work to come. And while we were out of the office, Aiden left the office and was walking around. So I asked Mr. McCoskey. So I got the message that he was. So I asked Mr. McCoskey to ensure that Aiden was either in the office or in his office while we were waiting for student work.
Do you understand how absolutely ridiculous your little story is to me when your nurse called me herself, knows nothing of the situation of the mask and all of that, and told me Aiden has been unsupervised and wandering around campus? So if you assure me that my child is supposed to be getting an actual education because you refuse to put him back in class, yet my child is wandering free with no supervision, do you know that's neglect? Do you know that people go to jail for neglecting children? Do you understand the magnitude of what's happening to my child? Do you understand that he's having an anxiety attack and that's why the nurse had to call me?
I do understand.
I really don't think you do, because you're not understanding the severity of this problem. The problem that my child has a medical condition and you are neglecting to allow him to have an education is inappropriate and absolutely unfair. You cannot take a child out of class because of a medical condition. We have tried to be accommodating. We brought him a face shield. We have tried to allow you guys the opportunity to do something. And at every single step, you guys have failed, you guys have lied, and you guys have not followed through on anything that you said you were going to do. How are we supposed to have faith in our teachers and the teaching staff and the administrative staff if this is how you guys conduct yourselves? How can you go to sleep at night when this is how you treat an 8-year-old child, when you know he has a medical condition and when you know he's dealing with mental health? Do you want my child to go home and cut his wrists because he's having problems? That's what you're forcing upon an 8-year-old child. Come on, you guys. This is inappropriate. Why is an 8-year-old wandering the campus without any supervision? You promised me, right? You promised
told you
me
that he would be. I did tell you that he would be with a certificated teacher or a staff member at all times. Correct, I did.
And he's not. And he hasn't been.
Well,
And he was crying to me about this yesterday already, that he didn't want to come to school today, yet again, because of the treatment and the bullying that he's getting from you, your staff, your teachers. How is this okay?
Well, I'm not aware of any bullying, so I can't speak to that. I do know that over the past couple of days, he was either with Miss Terry, our counselor, with Mr. McCoskey, in either one of those adults, except for this morning when he was out of the office until it was brought to my attention, and we made sure he was brought back.
All week, he has been wandering the school. He's already informed me that no one's watching him, that he is just allowed to walk around the campus. So this is not the first time this has happened.
I don't know that to be true.
And you absolutely are aware of the bullying. You absolutely have been made aware that Miss Lynn, his teacher that we've already removed him from, and the current teacher, his name escapes me, have reprimanded my child, have taken away his recesses, and have disciplined him, for one, because his father took the shield off of his desk that you and Mr. Fred had informed me and my husband that would no longer be there. You can't discipline a child for you guys not following through on something. You also cannot discipline a child and take away his recesses when you guys decide that Miss Lynn decided, she was not going to allow him to speak with you or his mother or father. This was brought to Mr. Fred's attention, and I had said something to you on the phone last time. This has been brought to your attention. This is not the first time that my child has lost his recesses or were reprimanded because he is not allowed to wear a mask because he will have a severe medical reaction. You guys are aware of this. We've been accommodating. I've given you guys time. Something needs to change now. Not tomorrow, not in a week, not on Monday, now. This is not going to happen anymore. My child is not going to continue to be bullied. And he is going to get an actual education on campus, in class, with a teacher. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking that he is treated like every other child on this campus. I am tired of him being pushed aside. I am tired of him being made to be last for everything. He's 8. You cannot do that to an 8-year-old child. You can't.
Right now I know he's with Mr. Makofka and has been for some time. I know he's said his stomach is hurting, he's not feeling well.
He's having an anxiety attack.
I understand. I'm just telling you what he's reported to us.
Yes,
so
we told him.
I understand that how he's feeling right now. If you keep him here, if you leave him here at school today.
I'm not. I'm taking him with me.
Okay. Then we will plan so that tomorrow none of this happens, so that like I told you, that what I told you is happening.
Why is the partition on Aiden's desk still?
Because I was directed by Student Services Department to continue with the measures that we had in place until such time that we met next Monday. At this point, Aiden is not in class.
Hasn't been in class.
Right.
If you want to keep a partition on my child's desk, put it on every child's desk.
I'm explaining the reason why it is on his desk. We will, after our meeting on Monday, we'll have a consistent plan in place so that whatever the decisions are made on Monday, or soon thereafter, I'm assuming it's Monday, then that will be the plan that we'll move forward with.
Why do you need to wait until Monday to enact any kind of anything? And how do you think it was okay for both you and your vice principal to reassure and affirm to both me and my husband on numerous occasions that these protocols that you have in place were no longer going to be in place, yet you never called us to say, I'm sorry, that's not going to be able to work for us at this moment in time. No communication has happened. Nothing was shared.
I agree. That was a failing. I totally...
And it's continuing to happen. I've brought this stuff to your guys' attention. These things have been made apparent to you. Everything has been shared. Everything has been said. Something needs to change. My child wants to learn. He wants to come to school. He does not want to be separated from everyone else. He wants to be treated just like every other child at this school. I understand Aiden is the only child here that has a medical mask mandate, and you guys aren't sure how to deal with that. I get it.
It's no excuse. It is not an excuse. I'm being honest with you. It's not. It is the first time, and it's forced us to figure out what is our approach. And we have not been consistent, obviously, and I've admitted that to you. I totally admit that now. And that's not in any way an excuse. It's not. And I'm not offering it as an excuse. I'm just admitting that we've made many missteps, and that it hasn't worked out anywhere close to the way it should have been. And I apologize for that. I honestly do. I think of my own kid. If my own kid were in the same situation, I would feel just the way you do. So I'm not trying to take away anything.
Mr. Ken had said the exact same thing, or Fred had said the exact same thing to me. Oh, I have a child too. I understand. Obviously, you don't understand if you're continuing to follow through on the path that you guys are on. It cannot continue. You cannot hurt my child this way anymore. You are emotionally abusing my child right now. What you guys are doing is abuse. What you guys are doing is neglect. What you guys are doing is bullying him and me to, I'm not sure what the idea is or what the main goal is here, but it is not okay. He is 8 years old. We are not against masks. We are not against vaccines. We have tried to do everything. Aiden was here wearing a mask. Okay? My other children wear masks at school. Okay? It is not that at all. We're not just, oh, well, we don't want to wear masks. It's not that we don't want to be safe. We brought him a face shield. Okay? There are certain things that he just physically and medically are not able to do. You have been made aware of these things. I've already brought this to your attention once. If my child had a peanut allergy, your school is a peanut-free zone, is it not?
Yes. Not school-wide, no, but
classroom-wide.
Yeah. Yes.
You guys make those adjustments according to the medical condition. You guys have failed miserably, and you continue to do so. And the fact that my child had to call me and I had to leave work, miss work, because he's having a panic attack, because he doesn't understand how to handle these emotions that he's going through right now. It hurts my soul to see that my child cries every day to come to school. You've met my child. You've said it yourself. He is a wonderful, very bright, intelligent, well-spoken child.
Yes. He's a neat kid.
He's awesome. He's amazing. I know. And I am trying to advocate for him as much as I can. I'm trying to fight for him and be in his corner. But when you guys aren't meeting me halfway, and I'm being lied to, and I'm not being kept in the loop, or you guys aren't even communicating, something needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. This cannot continue. I pay my taxes. I contribute. I volunteer. I'm part of the parent council at Maury Avenue. I volunteer my time, my hours, everything for my children. I'm a big part of my community. I know what is right, and I know what you guys should be doing. He's the one child, literally, out of how many thousands of kids you guys have at this school that cannot wear a mask? One. I understand we're in a pandemic. I understand that you guys don't have everything situated, but if your masks do what you say they do, and they protect every child who is wearing a mask, and if every child and student and adult on this campus wears a mask, my child wearing a face mask should not affect any other child because they're protecting themselves, correct?
They reduce the risk of transmission. They reduce the risk of infection.
If every child is wearing the mask and you guys assure parents that they are useful, that they protect the child, then your logic is every child is protected against my child. Him wearing a face shield should protect them because they're wearing their masks. Period. If your mask, I even donated a box of N95 masks to the school. Myself, I donated N95, the actual masks that actually help more than the paper masks. Okay, we are trying to do everything in our power to be helpful, to be useful, and to be accommodating. We're not being met halfway.
I apologize deeply for all of the missteps. I do. And I will take even more precautions to make sure that the next time Aiden is on campus, if it's tomorrow, that he will be in the care that I told you he'd be in. And then we'll meet on Monday.
The problem that he is not getting an education for the past week is what's bothering me.
I understand.
There should be, do you really understand? How would you feel if your child was here at school and being told that, nope, you can't have an education? I'm sorry, you're not allowed to go and learn like the rest of everyone else. You have to sit here because I haven't been able to talk to your mother in person yet.
I do understand.
No, you don't, because if you did, you wouldn't be doing the things that you're doing right now. You wouldn't. Because if you understood, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing to Aiden right now. You wouldn't continue on the path that you're on when you understand that it's the wrong path. Period. If you understand and you can agree that you guys have not handled this properly, you wouldn't continue. He would be in class. He would not be treated differently. He would be able to wear his face shield and be in class like every other student. That's all we're asking, is for him to be treated just like he's wearing a mask. That's all we're asking, which is not outrageous. It's not. If he's wearing a face shield because he medically cannot wear a face mask, he should not be treated any differently than any other child in this school. That is the only way that any of this is going to be okay, is my child is not treated differently. That's all we want. Equality for my child. Okay? His ancestors have been discriminated against from the very beginning. He is Native American. His father does not like to be lied to. I'm sorry that he came in and removed school equipment. We still have it at our house. If you want it back, you can have it back. I planned on bringing it back on Monday when we had our meeting. You cannot lie to parents and expect them not to be upset. That's what you did. You lied to both me and my husband. Your vice principal lied to both me and my husband. You can't expect us not to be upset.
I don't expect you to not be upset. I don't. I understand you being upset.
Oh, do you want some too, Mr. Fred?
I understand.
Why is Aiden wandering around campus by himself?
He's not.
He is.
I was with him the entire morning.
No, you were not.
Yes,
Your nurse called me.
Uh-huh.
And she informed me, she's like, Aiden's just been wandering school by himself.
He has not been.
There was a time this morning when he was out, you had him sit in the office, he was out of the office, and I brought to your attention, and you got him.
He's been in my office. I took him out for recess, and that's when he told me his stomach was hurting. And I've been with him the entire morning, so he has not been wandering around.
Do you know why his stomach hurts?
I asked him if he had breakfast. He said yes. I asked him on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the worst, 1 being not too bad, how much stomach hurt. He told me 5.
Do you know why he has a stomach ache?
He didn't give me a reason for the stomach ache.
We told him that if he was being mistreated, to tell them that he threw up in his mouth and that his stomach hurts. It's absolutely bad because he was not being able to call us when needed. He told us that, oh, well, they don't let me call you. I can't go to the phone. They won't let me do that.
I will tell you that he's never once asked me to call anyone.
Miss Lynn was asked, and she reprimanded him. He asked her to talk to Mr. Danderin, and she took away his recess, told him, I'm not going to do that. Do you guys think it's okay for your teachers to do these things to students? I know me and you had already had a conversation about this because I already told you that Miss Lynn did that to Aiden, and that's why we moved him out of her class. But then I find out the new teacher that he gets moved into also took away all of Aiden's recesses one day. Are you aware of that? Would you be okay if a teacher did that to your child? I know you have kids. Mm-hmm. Would you be okay if a teacher told your child, you can't see my superior? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call your parents, and then punishes them? I know you wouldn't be, you would not stand for that. You lied to my face. He lied to my husband. You guys told us that things were going to change, and things have gotten worse. Nothing's gotten better. Nothing's been resolved. Now my child's having a panic attack. He has anxiety, diagnosed. His mental health specialist was denied access to him. By you.
That did not happen. No.
She also told
that
me.
That did not happen. I'm just telling you. I never once on that day on Friday, I believe it was, never once was it brought to my attention that his therapist or anyone related to Aiden was on campus. The only notification I got was an email later in the day that was sent to